Hey, this is Eli Drinkwitz, head coach of the Missouri Tigers, and you're watching the Jboy Show.
Welcome to the Jboy Show, hosted by Jake Crain, the fastest growing sports show in the nation.
I'm Coach Hugh Freeze.
This is Super Bowl champion Brandon Graham.
Hey, this is DJ Shockley, and you're watching.
And thanks for watching the Jboy Show.
Hello, everybody. And from the bottom of my heart and our production crew's heart, we appreciate you joining us. Got another banger for you today. We are bringing in head Missouri football coach Eli Drinkwitz in an interview that you do not want to miss. And for the football junkies out there, we are getting down to the nitty gritty when it comes down to offensive play, defensive play, structuring as a head coach, and getting ready to go into year two. I do got to give a shout out first, though, to betonline.ag. Head over there today. The online casino is always open. Major League Baseball, NBA, anything soccer. If they're playing Quidditch, there's probably a spread on it. So you need to head over there right now. That's betonline.ag. And if you sign up now, whether it's mobile, desktop, laptop, phone, you get a 50% sign-up bonus. That's right, 50%, but you need to do it now before it runs out. That's betonline.ag. We are brought to you by them, Dave Mason, and all the great people and folks over at betonline.ag. If you're going to bet online, you need to betonline.ag. My monologue today is pretty short and sweet. I want to get in this interview quickly, but it's going into year two as a head coach. You know, a lot on this show I've talked about year one, setting the foundation, setting the culture, trying to get in some guys to be able to fit what you want to do, but also being smart enough to realize that you have to be malleable to the personnel that you have. You don't have the roster exactly how you want it when you go in to run what you want to run. Sometimes it's way off. And we had Jeff Collins on here from Georgia Tech that had to restructure a roster that was built for the triple option into what they're doing now, and that takes time. When you look at Missouri and what Eli Drinkwitz has done going into year two, you can tell they have the culture right. They have the base right. You're not seeing anything, crazy going on there, other than the Mizzou Vice pick, which I love. We talk about that as well. Coach Drink's a great one. But when you're going into year two, you're able to kind of get more of your guys in there to not, change your identity, but be able to really kind of focus on everything that you want to do while evolving your offense. A lot of coaches get stuck year one having success doing something offensively and don't add enough as they go on. Just like any sport, the defense is going to catch up to you eventually. The book's going to be out on you. And if you're not devolving, you're dissolving. And that's something we talk about with Eli Drinkwitz. It's a great interview. He's a heck of a guy, funny guy, intense. They're excited. Connor Bazelak's been disrespected a little bit, and he knows it. He's down at the Manning Passing Academy right now. I think they got a big year happening in Columbia soon. Hop in with me and Coach Drink. Let's win the water cooler, pun intended. Hello, everybody, and thank you for joining us again on another edition of the Jboy Show. We keep the hits coming. Got one of the fastest up-and-coming coaches, new head coaches in the SEC on. There's a ton of momentum where he's at. That's head Missouri football coach Eli Drinkwitz. Excited to bring him in here. Coach, number one, thank you for joining us. And number two, I know there's a ton of positive momentum in Columbia right now.
Yeah, when you say one of the fastest young, new, positive head coaches in the SEC, I just remind everybody there's been 8 new coaches in the past 24 months. So it turns out quick. Like you either.
Oh,
You good?
I lost you.
Hey, can you hear me?
I got you.
Yeah.
User malfunction.
Hey,
User
listen,
malfunction.
It happens, man. Second down, baby. Let's get it.
Yeah. So there's quick turnaround in this league, and so you either hit the ground running or you get gone really quickly.
Yeah.
And so that's what we're trying to do, man. We got a vision for our program, and you can either wait around to see if it's going to happen, or you can go, balls out, see if you can make it happen. And that's really what we're trying to do right now.
No, without a doubt. And again, you guys are obviously having success. And, Coach, when I watched your teams last year and watch you guys operate, watching the young Connor Bazelak at quarterback, it's a lot for a young guy, but man, I thought he handled it well. And again, you as a young guy, you're going to have good games, you're going to have bad games, but the poise he showed. And again, I know you've got good quarterbacks up and down that roster, but just for a second, going into year two, I mean, I know Connor's got to be even more comfortable. You guys got to be even more comfortable together. How excited are you to be one of it seems like the few teams actually returning a quarterback, Coach?
Man, I'm really excited about it. I mean, anytime if you don't have a quarterback, you have no chance.
That's exactly
right. And so we have a quarterback, and he's obviously got to continue to grow and improve and get better. And he knows that. I know that. So I don't want to put undue expectations on him. but he's got the right stuff. He's made of the right stuff. And apparently there's some people that see it and there's some people that are not. You know, I saw today where somebody ranked the SEC quarterbacks and he was behind some other kids who we absolutely beat the dog crap out of and had much better stats. So, you know, maybe some people doubt me and Connor. That's all right. I kind of like having a chip on my shoulder.
Without a doubt. It seems like, Coach, that's how your teams kind of play too, you know, not out of control or anything, but you're obviously playing to win the game. But when I watch your team and watch you guys, you know, run around, and I don't see any of your guys ever getting on each other than, you know, normal stuff that goes on in football. And it seems to me like y'all have really good communication on both sides of the ball. Can you just talk about how important, you know, communication is in the game of football, and then the culture that you're cultivating in that locker room? Because again, as you know, going into year 2, you set the foundation year 1. How important is communication and cultivating culture, especially, you know, in today's society where you have the transfer portal and some other crazy stuff going on?
Yeah, I mean, I think you have to have a unified message and everybody has to be moving in the same direction. And if you're not, you really got no chance to be successful. And it's not that we don't promote individual ideas and everybody's got the ability to speak up. It's just once we decide what we're doing, everybody's got to be committed to it. And, you know, I think at Mizzou, it's kind of a Mizzou versus the SEC mentality. You know, there's a lot of people that, you know, we're the furthest north playing school. We're kind of an outlier. You know, it kind of hit me when I was at the first SEC head coaches meeting. Like those guys, and this is no disrespect, and I don't think they meant it as any disrespect, but they don't really care if Eli Drinkwitz and Mizzou are successful in this league or not. They would prefer if we weren't because it makes their jobs easier. And so we got to do this on our own. And we have to go into it with the idea that we got to go prove ourselves and we got to do it in a hurry. And I think I communicate that message. We're clear in what our message is and what our goals are. And now everybody's on the same page about, all right, how do we go accomplish these on a day-to-day basis? And to me, culture is reflected in what basically the attitude of the organization is, right? So if the attitude of the organization, if the messaging is clear, then everybody can work every day towards that goal. If it's not, then it's kind of a free-for-all and it can turn into, you know, hey, it's about what I can do individually. I think the teams that are going to be the most successful right now in this name, image, and likeness, transfer portal day and age, individual brands are still going to be the teams that can harness the team concept. This isn't like basketball where Giannis can take over, or Chris Middleton can take over the fourth quarter and win the game. Like in football, you're going to have offense, defense, and special teams performing at a high level with some chemistry. And the teams that can harness that are going to win. The teams that can't, they're going to come up short. I mean, Alabama, yes, incredibly talented, unbelievable last year, but there's no denying that Mac Jones had incredible team chemistry with those guys.
Yeah, he did.
And that's what we've got to figure out.
Without a doubt. And, you know, how important chemistry is on the field. And Coach, looking offensively, something I talk about all the time when I talk about you in Missouri, and I'm sure the folks listening to our audience is like, oh, we know exactly what he's about to say, is that I think you do one of the best jobs in the country offensively from a formational standpoint, from a motion standpoint. And I'm not asking you to give away the special sauce or anything. I was too long to know not to ask you that. But, you know, how important is motion to be able to find out, you know, what coverage defenses are in and being able to have multiple formations and being able to use multiple personnels? Because I think your offense, while you have your identity, while you have your bread and butter, you have to keep evolving, in my opinion, or you're dissolving. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, so I think there's been a shift in football, right? Like 10 years ago, hurry up, no huddle was all about going as fast as you can to lock the defense into a specific scheme. And then you were just exploiting them with speed. Defenses have gotten so good now and so multiple, it's back to you need to get as many pre-snap context clues as you can in order to be successful. And for us, that's what motions are and shifts. We use them for two things. One, what are the context clues to tell us exactly what the defense is going to do? Because if I know pre-snap what the defense is going to do, well, then crud, I'm like the Patriots when they had the other defensive signals winning the Super Bowl. So I that's where it starts, you know, with the ability to do something like that. I think the second thing is how am I causing the defense? What stress am I causing the defense? Okay, so if you have a complex defensive scheme and it's all based on 11 people being on the same page, then one person moving, 11 people have to communicate. And if one of them messes up, they got an issue, right? And how many times do you see where just somebody messes up, I mean, you saw in the LSU game, we were in 12 personnel with motion to formation in the boundary, and the corner safety weren't able to communicate. They were in a quarters read coverage. The corner thought the safety was going to take it over the top. The safety thought the corner was going to continue to stay with him man to man. We had a wide open guy down the middle of the field. And that's the kind of things that we're trying to create is, one, can we get a context clue on what the defense is doing? And two, can we cause enough communication or breakdown in communication that, we get an advantage? Yeah. And, offense is so much different than defense. Offense, you only need 5. You need 5 plays a game to score, right? Mm-hmm. That's what you need. Defense, you got to play. If you could play 75 plays, unbelievable, and you give up 4 big ones, you're going to get your ass beat.
That's exactly right.
And so you got to fix that. Now, here's the other thing. I'm watching this show. Where's your Missouri helmet?
Okay, well, that's funny you said that. We were talking to Molly pre-show. We got to get a Missouri helmet. She's going to bring one to us next week, and I'm going to put that thing, Coach. It's going to be front and center up here because I've got to get a Missouri helmet because we show Missouri hella love on this show, Coach. I'm big on your staff and the guys you have returning this year. Okay, I'm just making sure because I'm an equal opportunity employer. If I'm going to do my Jboy spotlight, I got to make sure I get some Jboy love with the gear. Oh, yeah. Well, listen, not only we put the helmet up here, we're going to give you a whole bag full of Jboy merch. I'll get your sizes from Molly, the gray hoodie, the black hoodie. We'll send you some hats. I just need a picture in y'all's beautiful facility with it, Coach. That's no problem. I mean, I'll do that the first day I get it. Heck yeah. No, we'll get that to you. I'm actually going to bring that to Molly as well. But Coach, talking about it in that LSU game last year, first off, was an unbelievable game. And do you think that, in year one, I know you guys had big moments, but the minute that last play was made, that stand was made, that had to be huge for you and your team. Yeah. I mean, you got a guy, look, I'm different, right? Look, I don't look the part. I don't fit the part, but I'm a head coach in the SEC. And so when you're standing up in front of the team, they can believe it. But at some point, you got to show success. Like you got to show that it works. And for that game to work, we had 6 guys out because of contact tracing. And whatever, people can say they were down. I don't really care. They had really talented players. Yeah. For us to beat that team, as a 14-point underdog, I think was really when it was like, okay, maybe the stuff this guy is saying can work. Now, do we have all kinds of things we got to fix? Absolutely. Are we still a long way off? Yeah. I mean, look, Kirby and Dan have had a lot more head start on me, getting their programs running and the history of their programs than I do. But we're working every single day to try to catch them. Definitely. And I know this about Eli Drinkwitz, and I know this about your players. Y'all ain't damn scared of nobody. And, I know that for a fact, regardless, what they say, if they bleed, we can kill them. That's the truth. Coach Chizik used to say when we were at Auburn, never settle for second while first is still out there. Yeah. And that's just kind of my mentality. When he said that, it really just struck a chord with me. Like, you play, I was going to say Herm Edwards, but that's probably the wrong time to bring up Herm. But you play to win the game, and you never settle for second while first is still out there. And so, I mean, every game's an opportunity for us to prove who we are, and every game starts with a score of 0-0. So the job of our staff and team is to figure out how to win that game. And I don't need Vegas odds to figure out how to win the game. We got to figure it out as a team. How do we win this game? Yeah, that's exactly right. And be able to be consistent and do the things every day. And Coach, we got Media Day, obviously, week of SEC Media Days, dropping this, as it's going on. What are some things, when you look at this team right now and where the roster is right now, what are a few areas going into this season that you're really excited about? A couple guys. Number one, I want to say this. I want to applaud you for sending an offensive and defensive lineman to Media Day. They don't get enough love. That the quarterback's the most critical position, but I love you guys are doing that. But what are some areas that you're really excited about working with this group at that you feel like you can improve on what you did last year and really take that next step? Because I know you got a couple in your mind. Yeah, I mean, I would just start with the defensive line. I think we benefited tremendously from the COVID year. With being able to bring back Chris Turner, Akil Byers, and Kobe Whiteside, 3 quality players in this league that have the potential to have really big seasons if things go their way. You're adding that with 2 returning starters in Trajan Jeffcoat, who was an all-SEC player, cannot believe he got snubbed the way he did, and Isaiah McGuire, who played last year for us. So
that room, we're really excited. We were able to get some junior college transfers, Daniel Robledo, Revis George. We were able to add some freshmen who we think have a potential to play early. We're going to get a guy back from injury, Jatorian Hansford, who has the ability to rush the passer. So that room for us really has to be a strength. It has to be for us in this league. And we all know in this league, if you can play D-line up front with a D-line, you got a chance.
Yeah.
And so really excited about that. I think, defensive backs, we lost 2 tremendous safeties to get drafted in the NFL, but to add 2 caliber players to the transfer portal with the Caleb Evans and Ollie Green, to combine that with Ennis Rakestraw, a guy who started every game as a true freshman, with Ish Burdine and J.C. Carlisle and Sean Robinson, Martez Manuel. There are some guys back there that can really play. And I've got tremendous coaches who are going to develop those guys. But I'm excited about where that group was to where it could be. A group that was perceived to be a weakness going into the season with those 2 additions, I think has got the ability to really be a strength. On the offensive side of the ball, I think for me, the 2 positions that I think are really exciting and obviously is quarterback.
Yeah.
I think year 2 in the system, Connor's got the right stuff. I sent him that graphic this morning of him being picked as the 11th or 12th best quarterback in the SEC because he's the kind he's built similar to me. Like that stuff pisses him off.
Yeah.
And so I think he's at the Manning camp this weekend anyway. He's going to have the right kind of attitude about how do I improve? How do I get better? How do we prove to everybody that he deserves to be the quarterback? And then at the running back position, last year, Larry Roundtree was tremendous back in this league, but I'm really excited about what Tyler Beatty brings from a versatility standpoint. And I think he's got potential to do what I've done in the past with the Darrington Evans, the McNichols, and then Nyheim Hines. I mean, those are the type of backs that he really fits into that we've really had a lot of success with in the past in our offense. And so, those are really the guys that stand out to me. I mean, you're talking about a group that's returning every one of our specialists. That's
huge. People don't talk about that enough. They really don't.
But you're returning your a freshman field goal kicker who was lights out. Your punter and your kickoff guy and your snapper. So that's big. We added a transfer linebacker, Blaze Aldridge, to replace Nick Bolton. So that's big. I think the question marks for us become, what else can we get out of our tight ends?
Yeah.
How do I incorporate those guys more to create mismatches? What can we do at the wide receiver position to be more explosive? And then who's going to fill in for the right tackle position with Larry Bourne leaving early? So those are the things that we got to answer. But hey, everybody's got questions they got to answer these days.
Yeah, that's exactly right. The puzzle feels like it's never finished. But we're here with Coach Eli Drinkwitz, head coach of Missouri. Obviously, if you don't know that, I don't know what planet you've been on, but just wake up. But no, Coach, my last question for you, and I really appreciate you joining us, man. I'm excited to see you at Media Day as well. Is how excited are you going into this season? Going to be able to have full capacity tailgates? It's looking like it. I don't want to jinx it, but it's looking that way because it is such an emotional sport, and so much goes into it. And there's a great home field advantage out there. How excited are you about this season? I personally know how excited you are. I know how competitive you are and how much you want to get back out there. But just in your words, how fired up are you to be able to go watch your guys out there and go win a couple fist fights?
Well, the first thing is I never want to peak too soon, right?
That's true.
All right.
Yep.
So I don't, it's mid-July. But I think to me, the only anticipation that I have that rivals what we're doing is, you remember after 9/11, when we all missed those games, and then the next time we were able to play, I was coaching high school football then, but whether it was the World Series when George W. threw out the first pitch or the NFL games, those crowds were just unbelievable. And to me, that's kind of my expectation, right? Like the expectation is that Mizzou is hopefully buying in. I know we've had some lean years, but I hope they're buying into the process of what we're trying to accomplish, and that we are putting out a great product in recruiting. We're putting out a good product on the football field. And there's going to be some growing pains. Like I said, we're still not where we need to be. But it's a process, and man, I hope they're it's buy low, sell high, right?
Yeah.
Or buy low, sell high.
Yep.
The Mizzou fans need to buy low right now. They need to buy low. I'm just telling you right now, they need to buy low.
Yeah.
Because the opportunities are coming.
Yeah, and I got you guys having a heck of a year over there, and you can tell Connor if you want. Not that it matters anything for me, but I got him as the third best quarterback in the league. So I know he wants that chip on his shoulder, but I believe in the Bazelak. I call him the Basilisk of Harry Potter. Yeah, I got him third, man. I got Matt, JT, and Connor. I believe in it. He looks so poised to me as a young guy, and it's a compliment to you as well. It's what you do offensively and transition those guys. But I just see him as a guy in year 2 that can really, really, really jump out there. And that graphics out there, I'll show it to you. That's no BS. I caught a little flack for that, but no, I really believe in and believe what you guys are doing. And Coach, man, I can't thank you enough, brother. And congratulations on all your success. And you guys have earned it, and you deserve it, man. And I'm excited to watch you get out there this year.
Hey, we ain't done nothing yet. We got a lot of work to do. I mean, crud. So we got work to do, and until you have him as first, if you ain't first, you're last.
That's exactly right. We got a Ricky Bobby quote on the show. Ring the bell, ladies and gentlemen. Ring the freaking bell. But Coach Eli Drinkwitz, man, I appreciate you, brother. Like I said, excited to see you. We'll do this again, I'm sure, and I'm going to run into you at Media Days, man. Go shake your hand.
All right, buddy. Be good.
All right, brother. Thank you. And thank everybody else out there. Go to the jboyshow.com. Get some of that merch. You can look cool like Eli Drinkwitz. Going to drop the bag on him next week, or this week, actually, when we're releasing this. Go to Apple Podcasts, Spotify, the Jboy Show. Subscribe. YouTube as well. If you're not, what are you doing? Let's get there. You're going to keep getting great content like this. Focusing on the SEC. No politics, just ball, the way it should be. And for another edition of the Jboy Show, shout out to Eli Drinkwitz. We're gone.
The Jboy Show is produced by David Cohn, Technical Director Dave Hammock, Creative Director David Culbertson, Audio Engineer Feyzan Shareef, Production Assistants Blaine Crain and Kyle Orr, Executive Producers Jake Crain, Vince Thompson, Steve Chamberlain, and David Cohn. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel and visit our website, thejboyshow.com, for updates regarding our newest apparel and merch designs. Win the water cooler with the Jboy Show.